Good morning. The meeting of the Middlebury Redevelopment Commission, February 26th, will come to order. Roll call, everyone except for Mike Holloway and Don Anderson present. The minutes of the January 22nd, 2026 meeting and the executive session on February 19th were presented. We would entertain a motion.
I'd move that we approve both those meeting minutes as submitted.
Second?
I'll second.
Lance, second. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. At this time, we'd like to open the floor for public comments. Hearing none, we close the floor for public comments. Old business, proposal from Heron Environmental for further environmental investigation at 109 Grand Street.
So Heron provided some additional work to install some soil borings with geoprobes and then do some laboratory analysis. This is for further investigation at 109. The amount is $11,000. That's for your consideration.
And Mary, I had prepared an addendum to the proposal. It includes some of those standard contracts, but one thing I was thinking about adding, and I'm not sure how Heron will respond to it, is a certain environmental incorporation of those standards for the study. I assume they're already following them, but just since it might be if we're wanting to get certain certifications or assurances from the state and or to a future developer, we might want to just make sure that that is there. So if we approve it, I'd like to approve the addendum as well.
The developer is still
I haven't heard anything.
on the hook.
I
At this
haven't
point,
heard.
they still have the option to move forward. They haven't declined.
I haven't talked with them.
Okay.
So I
They-
figured it was going to take some time.
They did remove the signs,
Yes.
but that doesn't mean that
Okay.
they're not interested, or I assume that doesn't mean they're
Yeah, I just have
We
not
still
heard
need to
back
go
from them.
forward with this regardless, correct?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we move forward as presented.
with the addendum.
Yeah.
Okay. John makes the motion.
I'll second.
Don seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the proposal as well as the addendum, say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The motion passes. Next, an amendment to develop agreement with BFB Partner Group.
And maybe that should say purchase agreement instead of development agreement. Although, yeah, we haven't entered into a development agreement yet. So, yeah, I guess I haven't heard back from them yet either, so that's just an ongoing thing. We're set to close currently under the current extension at the end of March. So if we want to wait to extend it again, we can until we hear back. I did prepare like another just extension letter if we wanted to push it back until the end of June when this next step of the site inspection is done. We could do that, or we can wait until the March meeting to address it. But yeah, that is, at this point, we haven't heard back, so yeah, there's no further changes as far as the scope of the project or anything like that on the table that we know of.
I did notice it said this proposal is valid for 30 days. Will that be affected if we go beyond that, if we push it back? Or will
Under
they-
the RFP, we're beyond that, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
yep.
That's for the next item on the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not the.
Oh,
Oh,
is this
sorry,
for
sorry.
the,
My
the Birch
apologies.
Frank?
The person, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if we're good right now until the end of March,
We can wait if you want.
I guess I would just figure to wait to see, that way we can know what their response is to the environmental issues, and
I'd agree with that.
so.
Data dependent, we need more data to move forward.
All right,
So just
we can
leave it on
table
there,
that for
yeah.
next.
Just table it, yeah.
Okay. New business, forgive me, is that Birch
Birch
Frank
Frank.
and Associates LLC proposal for water main extension along County Road 20 to Jayco?
So if you go to the back page of that agreement, there's a map that looks something like this. It's a little bit easier for me to talk about it. So Jayco currently has building number 90 at the very top. And then they're building 91, and they're going to be, they're starting 92. So these buildings are like 150,000 square feet buildings. So they've already provided water main. It's maybe a little bit hard to see, but there's two different shades of gray, or I'm sorry, blue between 90 and 91. The darker blue, they're going to be extending that water main, so that way all these water mains can then be connected and looped, because when you have a looped system, it provides better fire protection. So what they're asking, Jayco's done the infrastructure, and we'll do this one that's at the bottom too eventually. But what we would like to do is build what's in red at some point in time. So that way we can loop all the way down to County Road 20 and loop Mid-State Specialty Eggs, so that they have better fire flow too. So the design of the water main of just what's in red in its design and survey is $17,950, and we're asking for consideration by the Redevelopment Commission for that. And it's not like it's something that has to go immediately, because this is going to have to be something that is built once we have funding. So Jayco's in the RTIF, and then Mid-States is in the Southeast TIF from the county,
So this is just for the study, correct?
for the design engineering.
Design engineering.
Yeah, to prepare the plan, so that way we can get ready to bid when we're ready to bid.
It's talked about there being, if there's a potential delay in having to bid it based on when funding is available, are we creating a chance that we're going to have to pay to update the design documents?
No, when it's water main, it's pretty straightforward, and it's empty, basically open fields. So it's not like grades are going to change drastically. Birch Frank also designed Building 91 and 92, or at least the site design for those two. So they have all that information of what final grade's going to be. It just kind of made sense for them to be the ones to put the plans together.
That area that is to the west of the Plant 92, 93, and north of Mid-States, that's going to stay vacant?
Currently, they're using it as a storage lot. It could, over time, because it's owned by Jayco, have buildings on it. I don't know what their overall plan would be. I know that they have an option to purchase south of Building 93. So there could be another building there too.
I'd move that we accept the proposal from Birch Frank and Associates for the water main extension as presented in an amount not to exceed the $17,950.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion passes. Next, interlocal agreement with Elkhart County for funding wastewater treatment plant extension.
So I'll start this, and then if Jackson has more to add, I'll let him go ahead and do that. So it's an interlocal agreement. It's between Elkhart County Redevelopment Commission and the town of Middlebury. It also has signatures by the county commissioners and county council, and also the town council. So, and it's an expansion, for the expansion and upgrade of the wastewater treatment plant. So from the preliminary engineering report that was completed by Donahue and Associates, the wastewater treatment plant was estimated to cost around 22 to 23 million. So with that being a significant amount of money, the engineers with Donahue figured out how they could divide it into two separate phases. So the first phase would be constructed in 2030, and it would cost around 9.8 million. Elkhart County Commission has approved the agreement and is agreeing to fund up to $9 million, which is 40% of the total of the overall project. And Middlebury Town Council also approved this agreement at their most recent meeting on February 16th. So the agreement also asked for consideration by Middlebury Redevelopment Commission to fund $3.75 million of the cost through the Elroy TIF and the downtown TIF, and that funding would start in 2028, setting money aside for the project. And it's spelled out in that interlocal agreement. And when we're ready to do phase two, which that could be 2035, 2040, I'm not sure exactly what year it would be. We would need to probably go after financing for the second phase of that. So,
Is the phase one cost the 22.5?
no, it's the 9.8 million.
Full cost of the whole thing for the phase 1 and 2 and all the phases is the 22.5 number.
It's between 22 and 23 million.
So is this going to strap those
Hence-
TIFs for those years? Like, what if something else
So-
comes up?
So the Elroy TIF has around 2 million a year come in, so we would be allocating half of that. And then the downtown TIF currently has around 400,000 a year come in. But with the buildings that they're building up here at Coachman, one's going now, and it'll be pretty shortly that there'll be two more up there. So we'll be closer to probably, I don't know, somewhere between 800,000 and $1 million coming in. Maybe not exactly in 28, but I think the 250 is, we just won't be able to do a lot more if we stay at the 400,000. But currently there's about around, I think, $1 million in there, 900,000 to $1 million in the downtown TIF.
So is there an option to finance more? Keep
We-
cash flow?
We weren't going to go with any type of financing until we went to phase two. So what we're trying to do is keep our rates, because basically what's happening is all of this is due to industrial growth, the needs for the updates. There is some maintenance stuff that needs to be done, but the majority of this stuff is due to the industrial growth. So we've talked with council and everything, and they want to try to keep, our rates as low as we can for our residential customers. And with the TIFs, that's what's capturing it, capturing the money to be able to put back into our infrastructure. So that's kind of, am I describing that right?
The reason behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just future, making a decision on dollars with the what if. And you're strapped to kind of a different, I don't know how I want to say that, but we're making a decision for possible future individuals on a very large amount of money, and you're already figuring in financing for part of the project already, so I was just asking, why wouldn't we finance more?
Well, we're not going to finance anything.
It's a phase two, you said.
That's phase two. So that'll be 2035, 2040. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to come into play. This, we're anticipating 2030 is when we would be
We
going
need
to
to vote
this
on this
upgrade.
today.
What?
We're voting on this today for,
I would like to, but we don't have to.
Because it has everybody else's approval, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the last,
I don't know.
the last piece.
Everyone else is,
Yeah, everybody else is, no pressure, John.
it's the rubber stamp, it's already been approved, so we just move forward.
Well, I mean, it benefits those properties that are outside the town, which is why the county redevelopment's contributing to it. You're right, though. I mean, it limits what can be done in the future. And, you know, I guess we're talking about the estimated 22.5 for the entire project, the 9.8 or whatever for this first phase one. Is that in today's dollars, or is that in 2028 dollars, or 2029, 2030 dollars?
They've got it. They always add contingent, like quite a bit of contingency in when they do their estimates, because there's so many unknowns when you're doing a preliminary engineering report to when you get to actual construction.
Yeah, so I'm just curious. I mean, everybody's giving a set amount, but if it ends up being more, as sometimes construction
Then-
projects tend to go,
Then we would need to,
then we're just going back to asking for more.
right?
It's already been decided. It's just a matter of whether or not the checkbook says yes.
Yeah,
But we're not deciding those, we're just deciding whether or not funds are going to come out of the TIF. Seems backwards to me, but
Government.
And I don't know how you plan for a $10 million project without trying to like save.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of like your
I'm just
own.
fast forwarding a couple of years, and all of a sudden there's something else that happens today.
And it's
now
gonna,
you don't have the monies to do that. That's my only question.
yeah,
We're
and
spending dollars
and I,
today for what we don't know in the future.
I-
And you can't raise rates because you had to build up these TIFs. So that's just my,
Ties our hands as to future projects.
Yeah. that's why I just brought the idea
Mm-hmm.
of financing, because then that keeps us in the now. You know, buy a house with cash because I finance it so can live and put food on my table and so forth. That's the reason I was bringing up
Mm-hmm.
those questions, so. But that's already been decided. We really just need to know, maybe we really can't go against the decisions already been made. Done that. We can't say no.
Well, technically, we have. That's what we did with the new water tower.
Yeah, but there were options.
We were, yeah, right. There
There
yeah,
was
well,
A,
there
B,
were
and
three
C.
options.
This is yes or no.
Right, right.
So,
I think if
don't
you
know.
propose something different, then we'll have to take it back through every board. So that, I mean, it can be done.
I was just asking questions.
No, I know.
And-
And I get where you're coming from, but I also, you know, Gary's a councilman. He has to answer to the residents too.
Right.
When,
Yeah,
and
for
if
sure.
we have to take,
I wouldn't want to be on that
Well,
piece when we don't have any money in the future.
And it's not like we're taking it all out at once.
No.
We're taking it out over time.
But to Don's point is if the costs go up,
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking 50% of the Elroy and, anywhere from 60% down to 25% of downtown TIF. I mean, I guess moving forward, if eyes wide open on that, but like, there's all these other projects that are coming that governments, we always rely on TIF money to pay for it, and that works, but it just means that at some point, you know, the money's gonna run out. The flip side of that is what the wastewater treatment plant does is incredibly important, and so not having something like that function is not an option. A part of it for me, I guess, you talked about financing it, and I get the thing about the rates and what that causes or whatnot, but sometimes those are the hard decisions, and I guess we're just, you know, on some level, it feels like, well, we're not gonna make the hard decision yet. We're gonna punt it down the road until we have no other choice but to make the hard decision, and you're put in a corner, but that's,
And Don, I think that there's going to be some hard decisions that are going to need to be made here pretty soon with regards to rates, because of the different projects that are going on and how we are funding them. And plus, you know, just, I mean, one thing, everybody talking about NIPSCO, well, I mean, our NIPSCO bill for the wastewater plant went from $25,000 a month to $35,000 a month. So, I mean, there's things that we're going to have to like seriously look at with regards to rates anyway. So we're just trying to make sure that we don't have the huge jump.
And I think one of the big rationales for the town entering into this was the contribution from the county, which they're getting, and the county is providing that as, you know, basically they're reserving capacity, and, you know, saying that, hey, if we'll give you this, but we need to have a commitment from you that we're entitled to some of that capacity via connection arrangement.
Because they want to connect.
And they're doing that based on an anticipated project.
Right, they want to
north,
connect.
which may or may not happen. But
Right.
by entering into this, we get the exchange, and it reduces the cost for the town. So on that side, that's why they see the benefit. And then the rest is on the town. If there's overages that come back, I mean, you can always go back and ask for more, but nothing's guaranteed. And then the idea is, well, part of the town's commitment is we earmark some of it from redevelopment and put that in the agreement as well.
I mean, the town's commitment is phase two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
the
Well,
redevelopment commissions are funding entirely phase one, so the town doesn't have any obligation till phase two. And then you're saying you're responsible for pretty much all of phase two. That actually happens, but, yeah, at that point, I wanted to just come back and ask for more TIF money. I'm going down a rabbit hole, so.
no, these are all good observations, Don.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't really have any TIF financing. We've always operated on the liquid side of things, which is a privilege to do as a redevelopment commission, frankly, which is always good. A lot of them don't operate that way.
Well, and maybe explain why it's a good thing, like that we don't have debt. Because it limits the TIF.
Yeah.
Because like Lance might, maybe he does, but he might not know.
Sure, yeah. I guess the idea is that, you know, once you start financing, it starts to a clock on the timer for the duration of the TIF. Go without it as long as you can, you know, it'll extend the life theoretically.
Do you foresee any future improvements that would significantly impact these TIFs, Mary? It sounds like that's kind of the dilemma, right? I mean, that we're thinking that it's going to limit what
We're
we
just
can
making a
do.
decision today about a lot of what-ifs in the future.
Right. And obviously, we know
yeah.
construction costs are always going to go up, so.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
I
gonna-
was just saying, my issue is to the extent that, I mean, it's appropriate to use TIF money for this. It's from the generation. I get all that. My issue has more to do with the fact that I guess the town's not involved at all on phase one. And I guess I'm skeptical to believe that in 2040, it's just not going to be coming back to RDC to fund phase two. And I won't be here probably in 2040, none of us will, so I don't know. That's the part that gets me, it's just an overall philosophy of how redevelopment's funding is generally used to cover other things instead of the fiscal bodies for the individual entities making certain tough decisions that therefore limit what you can do with redevelopment because you're using it for all this other stuff. But the other side of this is, you talk about it being decided, it's not decided, but, I mean, the county's throwing in $9 million. That's a heck of a thing to say no to and say it's not. So, I mean, I think it come down to like, yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. I guess it'll at least be in the minutes that there's some skepticism that whenever the phase two happens, let's see if it's truly funded entirely by the town versus kind of back to the commission. But I don't want to say no to $9 million thrown by the county, so.
And correct me if I'm wrong, with the 9 million, we're paying 700,000 to get the 9 million, so it's a tremendous, okay, sorry.
That's on another project, Gary.
Okay, all right, I'm jumping ahead, sorry.
So, yeah, what he's talking about is an agreement with the Indiana Department of Transportation that council just signed for the US 20 project. It's about $10 million worth of infrastructure improvements, and the town has to pay around $700,000.
So, again, the town's looking at what they can do and the redevelopment, what they can do, and obviously not wanting to increase rates, it was the best option that we had.
And I'll say that we can't say that we're not going to increase rates because there's so
right
much
now.
with, costs are increasing with everything that we're doing, so.
I know where we're at, just doesn't feel good. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Don't want to stop the board project, or motion, but it just feels like we don't have a whole lot of options here other than to move forward. The water project was different. We had A, B, C. This is yes and no. So that's how, I don't know how you move forward with this, but they didn't make a motion yes or motion no.
And part of it probably is my fault because, like, I've been working on this project since 2021, and there's a lot of details that's gone on and that you guys haven't been included in. So that's partially my fault there.
I'd move to approve the interlocal of Elkhart County for funding the wastewater treatment plant as presented.
Sure. Second it.
Motion to accept the interlocal agreement with Elkhart County for funding the wastewater treatment plant extension, and a second. Any further discussion?
I do have a question for the discussion piece. Since it says the county's willing to fund up to 9 million or 40% of the total cost, when the cost does come in higher, does that commit them to providing more at that time or no? It's
We
not-
would have to
That's
go
the
back.
max, yeah. It would only go down if it was for some reason under the estimate. That's what.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next, Resolution 2026-02, US 20, County Road 35, State Road 13, water main relocation.
So, basically one of the first steps in the US 20 reconstruction project is going to be to get all the utilities within the right-of-way relocated. So the town needs to relocate their existing water and sewer infrastructures, but we'll talk specifically about water right now. The utility relocation will be a joint venture between the town's water utility and the Indiana Department of Transportation. The town will be required to pay 10% of the total operating revenue received by the utility for fiscal year 2024. That was $2,060,000. And so the total cost to relocate the water main is $4.8 million. 10% of the total operating budget of the town's water is $206,000. And then there's betterment costs because we want to take and increase the size of the water main from 8-inch to 10-inch. So that betterment cost to increase that water main size is $173,440. So the total funds paid by NDOT would be $4,439,232.80. And the total funds paid by the town is $379,537.40. So funds have been set aside out of the Elroy TIF to pay for this. We've already started paying for the design of it. So the town's share is that $379,000. What's been paid to date out of the Elroy TIF is $104,000. So that leaves the $275,383.46 to pay. And in order to make it so the State Board of Accounts, it's a transition, or making it so it's easy for the State Board of Accounts to understand when they audit us. I would like consideration by redevelopment to transfer that $275,383.46 to the water department to pay that share.
And then that project will be paid in full, set aside, correct? Mm-hmm. And that will be done when?
They will start the reconstruction. It could start as early as this fall. Just depends upon whether NDOT gets all the right-of-way acquired that we need. But then, if not this fall, it'll be next spring. So utility relocation will go first. That'll be in '27. And then the construction project will start, and it'll go in 28, 29, and 30. So, and I was just told last week or the week before that NDOT plans on bidding both the US 20 project and the State Road 13 project together. So that way there is one contractor, and they can tell the contractor, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't do that. So they don't gridlock us.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second for the resolution 2026-02. Any further discussion?
We already set aside this money for this, so yeah.
Yep.
It's just-
I'll have to prove.
Sorry, I was waiting for any other discussion. Hearing no other discussion, those all in favor of resolution 2026-02, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion passes. Next, resolution 2026-03, US 20 County Road 35 to State Road 13 sewer utility relocation.
So this is similar to the water one, only the cost for this one, the total cost is $5.7 million. And the 10% of the total operating budget is $338,000. There are no betterment costs included in this one. And so that the total funds paid by the town would be the $338,049. So at the bottom, it shows the town's share. And then what's already been paid to date is $249,222.33. And so the amount to transfer from Elroy to Sewer would be $88,826.67.
I'd move to approve the resolution as submitted.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Second.
Kinda, sorta.
Well, they're going to two separate utilities.
Yeah.
So
But
those
same-
funds,
Yeah, I get it. It's the same piece. We're
Yeah.
kind of almost paid everything, so, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, sure.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting Resolution 2026-03, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. May I just say, I appreciate the discussion. I know sometimes we have difficult discussions, but again, thank you so much for, the talking things through. Again, I know sometimes they're tough decisions. So again, thank you guys so much for all your input. And again, I know sometimes the tough decisions can be a struggle. So thank you all so much for working through that with us.
You have to deal with the public.
The next redevelopment commission meeting is Thursday, March 26, 2026, at 7 a.m.